PS5 rumors and discussions have been all over the place lately, and we're at that time in the generation where we really got to start talking about it. What's going on, everybody? It's Ghost Robo and PlayStation 5. How does that make you feel? Excited, nervous, confused, maybe even mad? With the recent PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, some people want nothing to do with a next-generation console, but as you've probably seen or heard, there have been a number of rumors and tidbits floating about, and it came to a head today with a really good recap slash roundup slash sort of reality check from Jason Schrier over at Kotaku and a bunch of sources that he has been in contact with. Earlier this year, there was a rumor that a bunch of PS5 dev kits were out there, which seemed kind of a head-scratcher because it feels early. And it feels early for a number of reasons. One, we're used to elongated console cycles. Two, the PS4 is still selling incredibly well. Three, they've got an insane slate of games. But that has been the talk lately. PS5. I've even seen specs discussed, which, like, that, to me, that's crazy. Like, it's one thing to say dev kits are out there, but, like, I don't know. I think we're a little ways away. And Jason Schrier kind of feels the same based on who he's talked to. He says he spoke to dozens of game developers across a variety of disciplines and studios about the next gen of consoles, and that is where he is basing this article off of. Because there's been talk lately of PS5 coming in 2019, of PS5 being announced at E3 this year. Even I saw a crazy rumor that it would hit this year. Let's be clear, it's not coming in 2018. We've got a slate of Sony titles that are superstar games that there's no way that they would cloud or infringe upon with a new console. It's not right. 2019, now that seems a little bit more doable, and Jason Schrier in his article feels it's more like 2020. He says that only 2 of these dozens of game devs that he talked to were directly familiar with plans for Sony's new console. So that's important. It may only be 2 people, but 2 are directly familiar with plans for Sony's new console. Now, things are constantly in flux, and Schrier mentions this, that it can change at any time, and the devs reminded him that, hey, timelines and plans are always shifting, and especially in response to a competitor's maybe announcement. So say Microsoft was to come and say blah, then Sony would obviously have to react versus dictate. But it's a thing. These 2 people told him that they don't think it's coming in 2019, definitely not 2018, but that things can shift. So there is information that's out there at both first and third party companies, but it's very limited right now, which we can take as an indication that no console is imminent. Schrier points out that even people at Sony's first party studios have not been briefed on the existence of a PlayStation 5. Now, granted, that does not mean it doesn't exist, and it doesn't mean even that there's not a dev kit or 2 out there, but it means that on a wide scale, that's not the case. If it was coming anytime soon, it would already be in manufacturing, and there would have to be a lot out there. He talked to people that have games in 2018, games in 2019, games even beyond, and they haven't heard about it. They haven't heard about a PS5. So it feels like and seems like it's a ways off. Now, they do make note here in this article that a dev kit can be misleading, because early dev kits are typically PC towers that can change very rapidly, and that may not have the exact specs or definitely not the resemblance to the final product. So it's possible, there's a potential that they are in a testing phase. And I think based on even 2 people saying that they've been briefed that, hey, it's probably at that place. Now, where I kind of differ with Jason is that I think it definitely could come in 2019. And I feel like Sony has really loaded up the next 12 months with an insane lineup of exclusives. God of War, Detroit Become Human, Spider-Man, we know that Days Gone is coming at some point, and The Last of Us 2 has to be there as well. So what prohibits them from going out with a bang, ending with a super strong year, and launching this thing fall 2019? Nothing. Now, you could say that the PS4 is still doing super well, but I think, without fact-checking the numbers specifically or diving into the dollars, I would say, just at like a mind share level, the PS4 Pro and it's not been what maybe they hoped it would be. I don't feel like it caught on as expected. They have said that hey, it sold really well. And Microsoft, really tooted their own horn about how good the Xbox One X did. I don't think from an overall perspective, a broad stroke look, that they really were movers and shakers. I have them. I like them. I don't even really know that I wholeheartedly recommend them. I think the original PS4 and Xbox One are perfectly fine, and they still run the games. And yeah, there's some differences and some benefits, some bonuses, but I think that we are closer to a next gen than we may have thought before the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X came out. And I don't know that Microsoft isn't moving faster. There is no rumor right now, no talk about Xbox 2 or Nextbox or whatever they call it, but I think the general consensus would be Microsoft probably launches first. They are in the more dire position, if you can even call it that, because they are still very successful, but they don't have a big lineup of games, and I'm sure we'll see stuff at E3. I fully expect Halo 6 to be there. But, they haven't really blanketed the calendar, so you could say that's an indication that maybe they pull a surprise, and then maybe Sony has to react. You can read these things any sort of way. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. But if you want my blunt opinion, it's that I do think a PS5 is closer than we expect, and I would absolutely not be surprised to see it in 2019 instead of 2020. I think another year and a half of PlayStation 4 putting out the best games, the pinnacle that platform has seen, would be an awesome send-off and a great way to vault into a next gen. You look at stuff like Death Stranding, that game seems to be bonkers when it comes to scope and size. PS5 launch title doesn't seem like that crazy of an outcome for Kojima's newest idea. Now, back to the article, Schrier points out that PS4 dev kits dressed as PCs released 18 to 24 months before the console hit store shelves. So, if we take that into account and say, maybe that is what's out there, 18 months puts us at fall 2019, 24 months puts us 2020. Anywhere in that range makes sense to me. But I think the important certainty is that a PS5 is coming. Some people know about it. Something might be out there. And it's probably closer than most people think or want. Me personally, new consoles are incredibly exciting. I do not view the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X as a new console, a new piece of hardware. It's an upgrade. It's an expansion pack. It's a more expensive version, but it didn't do it for me. The warm, fuzzy feels I get when unboxing a new console did not happen with PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, and I think it's safe to say that kind of the general across-the-board opinion. So I'm predicting PS5 in 2019. Jason Schrier is predicting PS5 in 2020, but I want to know your take in the comments down below. When do you think this console hits? And how do you feel about it? If there was a PS5 next fall, would you feel good knowing that they got out God of War, Days Gone, Last of Us 2? I mean, we fully expect Last of Us 2 to be sometime in the next 18 months, so they could do that. And then, what more is there to do? It's like, what is the cost-benefit analysis of keeping a successful platform going versus saying, hey, we're at a peak point and now we can sell something new? And I do wonder how the impact of PS4 Pro and Xbox One X sales subconsciously or consciously affect consumer wallets when it comes to a brand new console. What is the reaction there? What is it like? How is it different? And what do they offer so that you don't feel like you're getting another half step? A half step would mean that the PS5 would be a half step. I don't think that is how it should feel, and I hope that's not how it feels. I hope if PS4 Pro and Xbox One X are half steps, PS4, PS5, Xbox Next feel like a full step above even that. That would be my desire, and that's how I think you push these consoles and sell them at whatever $500 price point or whatnot you're planning to do. But to me, the wild card here is Microsoft. They have been very close to their chest with what's going on. I'm excited for State of Decay 2. I'm not excited for Crackdown 3. I expect a Halo game, but what else? Where do they go? Why haven't we heard anything? Is it a big E3? They always say it's the biggest ever, but what does that really mean? And then, just because I love it and just because I deal with it all the time every day, You got to throw the Switch into the equation and say, like, that thing did not go the power route. That thing did not go the flashy tech route. That thing went a different route, fit a space that maybe was unoccupied at the moment, and delivered this hybrid portable console that can still play a number of current games and delivers Nintendo's best, and it's selling like gangbusters. So where and what does Nintendo do about a PS5? Probably nothing. I think they're very content with where they are right now, and if anything, they lower the price and make it even more appealing and more of an attractive package. But it will begin to get interesting because it seems like Switch is going to gain its footing when it comes to third-party releases. This E3, you introduce a whole new generation, and now the Switch is maybe in a weird spot, and maybe not. Maybe the feature set it has, the quote gimmick, if you will, that's not really a gimmick, but just a great idea of being a hybrid, maybe that usurps power and specs and graphics and all of that. Thus far, it seems to have. So does a new generation really affect that? I would say a little, but maybe not as much as we think. Anyways, you could talk about this for hours. It's very exciting. I'm super pumped for E3. We're like 60 days away, and while I don't expect a hardware announcement, it wouldn't blow my mind if it happened. I think we're in the conversation. We're in the stratosphere, and we'll soon narrow that down as we approach 2019 and as we approach the inevitable launch of PS5. It's crazy to think that at some point there was talk of like the last console generation never having another full upgrade, and now here we are saying like, yeah, there's two people that Jason Schrier talked to that have been briefed on PS5. So it's happening, and the world is a crazy place, and games are awesome, and I love you guys. So until next time, let me know your take in the comments down below. Drink so much, thanks again, and we will see you all later.